Hey neighbors, and welcome back to Arden's design series. We have made it to our third and final video in our series, and I'm so excited to share today's content with you. Today is probably my favorite topic because it is a combination of my most asked questions. Today we're going to cover top designer do's and don'ts that you can either apply in your brand new home, or if you're redesigning your current Arden home, you can use these tips as you go along. Now, I'm equally excited about the setting for today's video. We are at one of my current favorites. I don't know if I can say that. We are at the beautiful D.R. Horton Sydney model. So let's jump on in, let's see what we can find and give you some tips for your home. So our first designer do is pick your paint color last. I know that sounds very counterintuitive because it is a common design mistake to pick your paint color first. But usually this results in you picking a very neutral color and then trying to pick pieces and furniture and decor in your home to all match to that color. Real professional designers will pick out all the furniture first after deciding the function of the zone, and then find inspiration in the furniture itself. And then lastly, we will choose a paint color that complements and really brings out something you're trying to emphasize. So in this room, for example, they did a fantastic job of picking a beautiful teal color that complements the throw pillows. Our next designer do is mix and match your furniture. We all remember those matchy-matchy furniture sets of the 80s. We've all owned them at one point in time, but newer design is a little bit more sophisticated. And so what we recommend is making your own matches out of your furniture sets. And it's very simple to do that. Like, for example, take this beautiful dining room. They start with a core piece, the beautiful table. They've offset it with some nice linen accent and chairs, and then they've done side chairs in a totally different medium and color and texture. And it really helps bring the space all together. So that is a very quick tip to give your space just a more sophisticated design look. And also, as you progress in your life and want to switch out pieces, it makes it a lot easier to switch out pieces. You don't have to dump the entire set. They did the same thing over in this beautiful living room, where they have this amazing canvasy linen couch with a nice marble texture on the coffee table, and then some super fun seating areas made out of twill. For our next few tips, will join me in this beautiful living room. And the first one is to choose the proper size area rug. This is a really big one in design and a telltale of someone who understands design concepts. So the goal of an area rug, by definition, is to define a functional zone or area, and not to highlight a certain piece of furniture like a coffee table. So in a living room like this, your area rug should comfortably fit underneath the entire sofa, as well as any accent tables or chairs around the space. And this one does a very good job of that. The same would go for an area rug in a bedroom or even a dining room. If you were to fit a area rug under your dining room table, you'd want to make sure that the area rug was large enough to put underneath the table, and that you'd have the proper space to pull out your chairs and comfortably still be on the rug. So a few tips when you're lining out your area rug in your space is, first, decide what furniture pieces are going to go there, and then either taking a tape measure or even some painter's tape and laying out the space first, just to give it a feel, make sure it fits your functional desires, and then you can know what dimensions you're looking for. So another common designer do, or something you want to achieve, is proper drapery height. A very common design mistake is to hang your window treatments and curtains too low that actually accent the window instead of accentuating the full length of the space. And this is pretty understandable because most curtains come at prefabricated heights based on window fabrications. So my tip for you is, when you are shopping for your window treatments for your drapery, make sure that you measure the space between your floor and about 2 to 3 inches from the top of your ceiling. That is going to be the height you want for your treatment. If you cannot find the right height and one either comes too short or too long, I always recommend that you get one too long, and then you pay to have a professional hem it or sew it, and you're left with a very custom look. Another tip when you're hanging your curtain rod, as I said, is start where your ceiling is. You'll notice the big white space or empty space between the top of your window and your ceiling. You want to measure about 2 to 3 inches lower than that, and that is the perfect place to put your curtain rod. Now, the decorative pieces at the end of curtain rods are called finials, and some of them can get quite decorative and quite large. So what you want to make sure is when you hang your rod that you still leave enough space for your finials. And in this case, where you have two rods next to each other, you want to make sure that there's also space for the two finials to meet without impeding the window depth. So that'll certainly help elevate your look, is proper drapery height. Another big designer do is proper TV height. Now this is a big one, and you probably have noticed this in homes where you go in and you're sitting down on the couch and you're looking at the TV and you're either looking too far down or you're craning your neck up to see and view the space. So the ergonomic and the functional aspects of design are just as important, if not more important, than the aesthetic aspects. So this is still a controversial topic among a lot of designers, but most of us agree that you want the proper ergonomic viewing height to be between 20 and 25 degrees for your neck. So for most spaces, that looks like 65 inches AFF or above the finished floor. So it's pretty simple. What you would do is you just get a tape measure and you would measure from the floor to about 65 inches, and that should be the middle of where your TV is hung. There are going to be a few instances where this can be changed. If you have a TV that's smaller than 55 inches in diameter, like this one, you can go a little bit shorter, about 5 inches shorter, or if you have over a 75-inch television, you want to hang it about 5 inches higher. But 65 inches AFF is definitely a good rule of thumb for you when you're hanging your TV. The next designer do I have for you guys has to do with space planning. So do make sure that you're grouping your furniture into smaller, intimate groups and do not feel the need to push all your furniture up against the walls. A lot of people feel challenged in smaller spaces and think that if they push their furniture against the walls, it'll make the space look bigger. In actuality, what happens with your viewer's eye is the furniture starts to amalgamate with the wall and the space actually feels smaller. So the tip here is to leave enough functional space around items, and it's totally fine to have a couch pushed against the wall, but not everything should sit on opposite walls. This will leave it feeling disjointed and not intimate, not cozy, harder to carry on a conversation. So what you want to do is group things together in small functional zones that people can carry on a conversation and spend time together. The furniture might actually be a little bit closer, but the space in general will feel much more intimate and cozy, and you'll nail that design. The last designer do I have for you guys today has to do with bringing the outside in. And this is something that probably every designer I know would agree upon. And that is the simple fact that nature is inspiring, beautiful, and adds an element of serenity to your home. So whether that be beautiful succulents and plants, the organic shape adds a beautiful textured hard edges, or that be stonework or elements of wood that just add beautiful visual depth to a space. Fire elements such as candles or fireplace also add a very warm and beautiful, loving backdrop for your life's memories. So after you have everything planned out and designed, I recommend that you go to your favorite places to shop or go to a beach and find elements that inspire you and make sure that you layer them throughout your home. So neighbors, that concludes today's video of top designer do's and don'ts, and that also concludes our designer series. I hope that you had a lot of fun. It was so much fun to spend some time with you guys and tour this beautiful community and all these wonderful properties. Absolutely want to say a huge and heartfelt thank you to D.R. Horton for allowing us to tour the beautiful Sydney model today. It has been just an absolute blast, and we've loved sharing it with you. So neighbors, have so much fun in designing your home. Please remember that design is a journey. Design should be something unique to you and to speak to who you are. There's no right or wrong. Just stick to what inspires you and you will do great. And if you have any questions, your neighbors at Banyan Design are here to help. So until next time, neighbors, stay inspired. Bye.